Hi, katzcradul here. I get so many questions and comments about my espalier apple trees that I grow flat up against my fence. People are asking me all the time how they're doing, and I just want to show you they're leafing out. They made the winter. They're doing great. You can see them extended, the limbs, the branches extended beyond the wires there. But I do need to do a little bit of trimming. I got this one topped out in the fall, and I'm not sure how come I didn't get that one done. But I'm going to work on it a little bit this morning. And really, all I need to work with my apple trees at this point is a good sharp pair of pruning shears right here and a bag of cut up pantyhose. You can see that I tie the branches all along the way to keep them growing on the wire. And what I'm going to do this morning is to check. This tree has really grown since I first started tying it, and I check all these ties to make sure they're loose and that I'm not binding the branches in any way. This one is too tight, and I'm going to untie it and either tie it more loosely or put a new one. I think I'll just tie it more loosely. I'm trying to do this one hand, but it was binding, and I want that branch to be able to grow and to not be tight. So I'll check all these. See, that moves freely. This, oh, that isn't doing anything. Yeah, there's plenty of room for growth here. But what I'm going to do, I'm not sure, this one probably just got left here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come and I'm going to tie here, and then you'll see that branch is sticking up off the wire. What I'm going to do is gently coax it down. I'll probably tie it about that much, and then I'll come back in a week or so and pull it down a little bit more until I get it growing flat against the wire like this one's doing. I'll check all these ties to be sure that nothing's binding. I also see some pruning I need to do, like down here on this branch. You want everything growing horizontal, so this will get snipped. In fact, let me get my clippers. I'll just do that right now for you. I trim it very close. You need to have excellent pruning shears here. You don't need to put any pressure on that branch. There we go. Very nice. Here's, you can see some ones I pruned last year. This one could go a little closer. There we go. I'm going to leave this. It might put out an apple, and then I'll trim it back later. But you want them all. This looks pretty good. Let me come down here and I'll show you this. See, this is what I want. I want to see this kind of growth, very, very, very right along the stem. But I'm going to come down here and check the end. The very tip here, I see greening, so that's great. I'm going to get growth all along here. Here's some greening, but there's a little stem here. I'm going to get rid of that. Yep. This one's greening on the end. So I'll examine them all and cut away anything that's not going to be productive for me. The tops look just great. They're leafing out, and I'm going to cut these that have, well, that has a little green on the top, but I'm going to cut them off because I want to keep them dwarf or semi-dwarf. I don't want to be climbing on a ladder for apples. So I'm going to trim that a little bit. I'll come back and let you see what it looks like. I love being in the garden in the early morning when it's cool and the dew is still on the ground and the birds are excited to awaken to a new day. I'll show you this, what appears to be something that is dead and lifeless. I'll come back to this very corner in a couple of months and show you what it looks like. I'm going to prune the dead away here, and there'll be a beautiful, truly beautiful plant there in just a couple of months, but I have to get rid of that is old and dead and lifeless, and then I'll show you what that looks like. I'm through tending the apple trees, and it's effort to do that. It takes some work and some time, but it's worth it. And most people would look at it and say, well, it's an apple tree. You know, just let it go. It'll make apples, and that's true. But I have a vision of what I want it to become. I want it to become a beautiful, productive tree yielding as much fruit as it can. And I'm thinking about the life lessons that are here in the garden. And while I don't want to wax too philosophical, I tend this tree much as I do Prepare. I shape it and I tie the branches down while they're young and tender and point them in the direction they're going to go. This one was really sticking up. I had to pull it down. I didn't pull it so hard that I broke it. I pulled it down, and in a couple of weeks I'll pull it a little more and pull it a little more till it goes to the wire. But it doesn't hurt the tree if I do it this way, and if I do it now while it's young and tender. But if I wait too long, then I could break this limb. And it's the same way with children. They have to be trained and guided, and if you wait too long, you're in trouble. I'll show you a few other things. The strawberries are up. There's a lot of them. I probably should have thinned. Boy, it's really hard for me to thin strawberries, so I just love them. We'll get a little hay under there so that when the strawberries come out, we keep them off the ground. Here's another thing you need to be mindful of. The tag they put on a tree will soon get tight, so I just want to be sure that's loose. In fact, I think I'm just going to take it off. Don't want to bind that, and I'll just put it in my record book. We've trimmed back the old canes on the raspberries. That's hard to do as well, because you see these long canes and you think, well, they're already there. They're already grown, and surely you don't want to start over and prune them back to the ground and have them start all over. But that's the way of life here in the garden. Sometimes you have to be pruned back in order to put forth new growth. That's true for me as well. Cilantro comes back. There it is. And most people would say, well, you've got some weeds there growing along your path, but I don't pull those up. That's all edible. That's chickweed. Why would I pull it up and go to the effort of planting something new that has to start all over again when this is perfectly edible? Good morning, Maybelline. There's some asparagus coming back. I'm going to move that far one. It doesn't get enough sun. This is only the second year for the asparagus, so I won't be eating them. I'll wait till next year. That's very hard to do, to wait for that third year. Maybelline, are you looking for maize? She's looking for a buddy. Raspberries have been trimmed back. They look good. We planted our potatoes here, and we roped it off just so Prepare would not walk through there and crush the little green shoots as soon as they come up. Here's the back to Eden garden. It's still asleep, but it's about to come to life. All of the leaves, all of the mulch we've put in here has broken down. It's nice and flat and ready to be planted. Can't wait. The only grass in the whole yard is just a little bit along the shop right there. Here's all the wild edibles. We have a little bit of cleaning and picking up to do. All that's edible. There's 3 things there that I identify as edible: henbit, clover, and chickweed. And there's plenty of it. All delicious in salad, and we come and pick it up out here. We garden organically, so there's no chemicals on any of it. This is all delicious in salad. Look how beautiful and green. There's some henbit here as well. I think I'll take you to the front yard to show you something. There's henbit and chickweed. Very beautiful. The henbit will put a little tiny purple flower on it when the day dawns. Go away. Let me go to the front yard and show you something. Oh, there's some wild onion right there, also edible. Okay, let me go to the front. I watched an excellent video this morning. I can't remember the YouTuber's name that put it up, but I'll post his name here so you'll be able to see it, and then a link to his video. He did a great tutorial on dandelions. And of course, all dandelions here in North America is edible. I have some that has come up spontaneously in my flower bed. In years before, I would have pulled all that, but I know better now. Even our front yard is a Back to Eden garden, and the only thing coming up is the dandelion, and I'm not pulling it because that is delicious. Salad greens as well. We're going to get a train, so I better hurry here. More asparagus in my front flower bed. It's easy to put that in your front yard because the fern grows up beautiful and just looks, you know, floral. It's beautiful. There's some tulips. Go down here. I've got asparagus all interspersed in here. There's some. More dandelion greens. Dandelions and wild onions. Totally edible. Why would I pluck that up and pull that out and spend the extra money on seed for other greens when this is ready to go right now? More asparagus. And this is my medicinal herb, yarrow that grows on the end. Beautiful yellow blossoms. But there you go. The only thing right now in the front is wild onions, dandelions, and I've got 5 garlic here, and that's the new blueberry bush. But I'll post that video on the dandelions because it's excellent. My husband, Paladin Prepper, has been the tireless champion of the Back to Eden method of gardening, which is the type of gardening we do. And if you want to check out his videos, you can do that at Paladin Prepper. He's on YouTube. In fact, I'll post a link to a couple of his videos concerning garden down below. But please, I really hope by now most of you have watched have gone to backtooedenfilm.com to watch this remarkable video of how to garden without tilling the ground. That you make the garden fertile and rich by mulching it, by putting a heavy mulch on and continuing to mulch year-round. We will not use our tiller again. I see the sense, I see the wisdom in not tilling the ground and in mulching and providing the constant nutrients and not stirring up the weed seeds, which is what we do when we till. We till up and bring Sorry about that. My camera ran out of memory and I had to delete some videos. But her book, Gardening Without Work for the Aging, the Busy, and the Indolent, is an amazing book. She was the original Back to Eden gardener, I believe, before it was called that. She refined her gardening down to a point where she only had to garden for just a few minutes a day. Because of the heavy mulch that she put on her garden received the nutrition it needed. all of the vitamins and minerals from the mulch breaking down. Weeds were not a problem. Disease, fungus, all that kind of thing was not a problem. And I will post a 2-section video that's on YouTube of her showing how to garden, and I promise you will be riveted to it. I was mesmerized when I watched it. I watched her plant potatoes one morning. It took about 15 seconds. She threw them into the mulch, then covered them with a little more mulch and walked away. And she will tell you about the kind of yield she gets from her garden, never having to fertilize, never having to weed, never having to do any of that. It is just fascinating. I hope you enjoy these videos. I love them. She is delightful, very eccentric, just fun to listen to and fun to watch. I hope you'll check that out. I can't think of anything at this point. I'm just excited about gardening. I love to watch things grow. I love seeing life spring forth out of the ground, and I hope you enjoy that too. I'll post some important links for you below so that you can check them out. Get busy and get excited about your garden. Cat's Cradle.